Every 4 years, the world stops to watch. Flags wave, hearts race, tears fall. It's more than a game. It's war without weapons, a stage for human triumph, a global celebration of spirit, struggle, and strength. But where did it all begin? Why do we care so deeply about sport? And how did a sacred Greek ritual become the most watched event on Earth? Hi everyone, I'm Matt, and this is 10 Minute Story, where history explains the world we live in. Long before medals and TV deals, sport began with a different purpose: survival. In prehistoric times, running, wrestling, swimming, and throwing weren't games. They were skills for hunting, escaping predators, and proving worth. Tribes competed in mock battles, rituals, and races to honor gods or decide leadership. Ancient Egypt depicted wrestling on tomb walls 5,000 years ago. In China, emperors organized polo matches and archery tournaments. In Mesoamerica, the Maya played a ball game so intense that losers might be sacrificed. The earliest forms of sport were deeply spiritual, violent, and symbolic, not just for fun, but for power, pride, and the gods. Now let's travel to ancient Greece, where sport became legend. In 776 BCE, the first Olympic Games were held in Olympia, in honor of Zeus, king of the gods. Athletes competed nude to celebrate the human form. Only free Greek men could participate. Women, banned, though they had their own games later dedicated to Hera. Events included the stadion, which was a sprint, long jump, javelin, discus, wrestling, boxing, and the brutal pancration, a no-holds-barred mix of MMA and brawling. There were also chariot races, often deadly, where fame awaited the winning horse owner, not the driver. Every 4 years, city-states like Athens and Sparta declared a sacred truce, the Ekacheria, to allow safe passage to Olympia. For a moment, sport stopped war. Winning was everything. There were no silver or bronze medals. Just one victor, crowned with an olive wreath, and immortalized in statues, songs, and stories. Fun fact: a runner named Phidippides supposedly inspired the marathon after running 42 kilometers from Marathon to Athens to announce victory over the Persians. He collapsed and died on the spot. True? Maybe. Epic? Absolutely. If stories like this fascinate you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss more history that still echoes today. But the flame didn't burn forever. In 393 CE, Roman Emperor Theodosius I banned the Olympics as pagan. The ancient games were buried by time, war, and religion. For over 1,500 years, the world forgot Olympia. But the dream never truly died. In the 19th century, sport was reborn. This time, in schools. British elite institutions like Eton and Rugby saw sport as a tool to build discipline, character, and leadership. That idea spread fast. Track and field, rowing, and gymnastics became national passions. Then, in 1894, a French aristocrat named Pierre de Coubertin had a radical idea. What if we revived the Olympic Games for all nations, not just one? In 1896, the first modern Olympics were held in Athens, a symbolic return to the source. Only 14 nations participated. Women were still excluded. But it had begun. The flame was lit again, this time to never go out. As the 20th century unfolded, the Olympics became not just sport, but history on display. 1924, Paris, the first true modern games, with the Olympic Village and a growing global audience. 1936, Berlin. Hitler tried to use the games for Nazi propaganda. But Jesse Owens, an African-American sprinter, won 4 gold medals, humiliating the Aryan myth. Jesse Owens' story is pure power. He returned to America a hero, but still had to ride in the freight elevator at his victory party. Sport had lifted him, but racism still held him down. 1968, Mexico City sprinters. Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised their fists in a Black Power salute on the podium, an act of protest seen worldwide. 1972, Munich terrorists murdered 11 Israeli athletes. The world watched in horror as politics invaded the field of dreams, yet the games kept growing. Women were finally allowed to run the marathon in 1984, after decades of being told it was too dangerous. By 2021, women made up 49% of Olympic athletes. The Olympics became a symbol of inclusion, but also of struggle. Why does sport matter so much? Because it's not just movement, it's meaning. It teaches us resilience, fairness, respect. It breaks barriers of race, gender, and nationality. In apartheid South Africa, black athletes couldn't compete freely. Only after Nelson Mandela's release did South Africa rejoin the Olympics, with a multi-ethnic team that stunned the world. Sport can heal. In 1995, Mandela wore the Springboks jersey, once a symbol of white supremacy, at the Rugby World Cup. South Africa won, and the country wept together. Sport can also build peace. The Olympic truce, a tradition from ancient Greece, has been revived to promote diplomacy. Korean athletes marched under a unified flag in 2018, a rare moment of unity. Sport can divide too. Think doping scandals, corruption, or nationalism. But when used right, it unites. Let's remember why we watch, because, sport is storytelling, in real time. Abebe Bikila won the marathon in 1960, barefoot, becoming the first black African Olympic champion. Kerry Strug in 1996 stuck a vault landing on an injured ankle to win gold for the U.S. gymnastics team. Usain Bolt made sprinting look effortless, but behind the smile were years of brutal training. Each athlete carries a story of sacrifice, family, fear, and fire. And honestly, we see ourselves in them. The Olympics are now a massive machine. With over 200 nations, more than 10,000 athletes, billions in sponsorships and audiences across every screen. But the spirit remains. Events like skateboarding, surfing, and climbing join ancient disciplines. Technology enhances fairness, with sensors, replays, and AI-assisted judging. The Tokyo 2020 Olympics, held in 2021 due to COVID, happened without spectators, yet still united the world after a dark year. Now, Paris 2024 promises urban events in iconic locations. Beach volleyball under the Eiffel Tower, anyone? Let's end with this. Sport isn't just a show, it's a school. It teaches us how to win with grace, and how to lose with dignity, how to push limits, how to work with others, how to believe. In schools, communities, and refugee camps, sport builds confidence, friendships, and peace. Programs like the IOC's Refugee Olympic Team remind us, even those with nothing still carry dreams, and dreams are the foundation of greatness. From sacred Greek rituals to the global Olympic flame, from barefoot runners to billion-dollar stadiums, sport is a mirror, showing us who we are and who we could become. It unites and divides, it lifts and humbles, and above all, it tells stories that never grow old. 10-minute story. Every day a new pill of curiosity.